We are here at Holly LSX 2025 in Bowling Green, Kentucky at Beachman Raceway. And we have brought LSX Willys 2.0 down here so everyone can check it out and see all the goodies that Holley has on here. But
yeah, it all started out last year at LS Fest. There was a guy that was asking Justin about his first Jeep, and he took a ride in it and spawned into this a year later. So
yeah, we I had built the first LSX Willys Jeep years back, and I tried to buy it back for a while, and the guy just wasn't budging on it. So we came down here to LS Fest, and a guy named David Ellenberger, his father had built another Willys Jeep. It's here at the show actually. It's running Holley Terminator, and it was just an LS3, nothing crazy. It was basically just a cruiser with a manual, definitely not a race car. But going for a ride in that was literally all I needed to be able to say, hey, I want to build another one. He said when I got out of the Jeep that he could just see immediately that I had a smile ear to ear, and he knew that was going to be our next project. But we reached out to all the companies that we work with, and including Holley, and decided to build 2.0. So that's kind of how that whole thing came to be. A year ago today, this wasn't even an idea yet. It wasn't even thought of. So it's kind of neat to see how quickly something can come to fruition when you work with great companies like Holley. If you want to come on up here, we can kind of show you what we got going on underneath. Did not look like that in 53, if you believe it or not. I had a few more GI injuries if that was what they got issued. But we're running a lot of Holley stuff here. We got the Holley throttle body. We did have to do a custom intake lid. The Holley came forward. It's a tight squeeze in there. There's not a lot of room. We're running the Holley Smart Coils. We are running an actual Dominator system on the vehicle. And I always joke and tell people, I said it will literally do pretty much everything except fold your laundry. It's completely customizable. You can add anything, do anything. It's really pretty awesome, to be honest. We have it running and monitoring everything. All the pressure sensors are from Holley. They all tie right into the Dominator, and it allows us to see literally everything. It also controls all of our cooling fans for the main engine fan. Controls, of course, the fuel pumps, which are also Holley. It controls the heat exchanger. We did a custom heat exchanger underneath with the fan and everything. It controls that all based off inlet air temps. It controls the trans cooler fan based off trans temperatures. And all of that actually, through the Holley harness, connects right into the 4L80E. And they do it for any transmission, or most transmissions, should I say. And it allows them to literally run it just as if it was a factory ECU and monitor all the same parameters, only it allows you to customize it however you want, which is really nice. I don't know where should go. I know you don't want us to really talk about the give a rundown of what the engine setup is.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah,
Okay.
you don't have to necessarily call out the company name and everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and honestly, even if you do like
Texas Speed's okay.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, and you like to do
well, we'll do that here in a minute. Yeah, go ahead and flip it on so it's on. That way we don't have to wait for it to load up. Oh, wow, no. Scratch that. Bad idea. Do you want me to give a rundown of the engine? Talk about it. Okay, all right. Yeah. All right. So the engine that we're running in this thing is actually a Texas Speed 408. They're another great company to work with. But basically, starting from the top, we've got a couple nitrous kits on this thing, which it definitely does not need. It is incredibly violent, just as it sits with the work like we wanted. There's this mild hole in the hood that we couldn't get away from. We're running twin on-3 performance turbos. They work really well. B-Cool did our custom radiator and our cooling, all our cooling services basically. They did the heat exchanger, the trans cooler, and the radiator for this thing. It turns out when you're looking for a high performance radiator for a 53 Willys Jeep, one makes, but we got all that set up here. We did a few little neat touches if you want to see here. We got like our radiator overflow. We did a canteen, just little stuff to keep it kind of themed for the vehicle. But behind that we have a 480 trans that is now built better than it was the first time. Turns out when a company gives you a horsepower rating for a transmission, you think there might be some wiggle room. Turns out it was a hard number. It left the group chat, and we we had to rebuild that pretty quickly. I think we got about 90 miles on that. It turned second and third gear into one big conglomeration. Yeah, if you want to come on back here to the backside, we can show you kind of some of the inside. What about weld as well?
No. Yeah, you're good. You're good there.
Good to talk about it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we have wheel companies, but not that kind of wheel.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Different caliber than us.
Yeah, as you come around here, you can kind of see we got the important names right out here on the side there. But we did the Weld S71 wheels. It's the same wheels I ran on the first LSX Willys, and they're just a classic look. I think they look really, really tasteful and stuff. But you come around here, we got some more Holley stuff. I'll let you talk about some of the Holley goodies you got back here.
So we're running Holley's big some fuel pump in the tank, and then we also have LiDAR detection for the fuel level in it. So we can program that. You can put it in any tank. It just shoots a laser in there and it'll measure it. Also running the big Holley dash in it, fully customizable. It'll have every single sensor plugged in, and you can read everything on there. Justin also made a custom dash, and I'll show you here that. I'll show you.
Probably be easier to see that from the other side. It gets kind of cramped. Legroom and stuff was not a big factor back in the day. You might be able to see it here once the power's on. Of course, it's themed for the military, of course. You want me to give a rundown on that? Alright, so if you can kind of come in here and see, but when I was talking about being fully customizable, the Pro Dash is really awesome because, especially you get the 12.3 inch Pro Dash, which I strongly recommend. You get that 7 inches smaller. This gives you actually a lot more customization, and you're actually able to see all the little changes that you put in there. But like, you can set this up for anything you want. Now, of course, this is a custom background that I made and that I kind of worked with to get set up how I wanted and theme it for the Jeep. But you can set up digital switches, everything. What's really great is you can set up inputs on this thing, and it allows you to have different boost settings that you can have just right on the fly. And it does stack those, so you have to be careful. Make sure you turn one off before you turn the other on, because 3 PSI, and then you turn on the 6 PSI, now you're at 9 PSI. That can get really crazy in something in an 81 inch wheelbase. But it's just really awesome with the customization. Like I said, I know I said that word probably 20 times, but when you build something like this, you want it how you want it. You don't want to settle for something that isn't exactly what you want, you know? And being able to customize it and have it exactly how you want it, it's worth the every penny, in my opinion. But like he said, we do have the fuel, the whole, sit right on top of the fuel tank, which is, I'm sure, a great safety thing. I don't think they thought things through back in '53 very well. We got the, what about kickers? Okay, yeah. So Kicker Car Audio is one of our sponsors as well, and they were a sponsor on the first Jeep, and they've always taken care of us really well. They sent us the speakers for this thing, and it's incredibly loud, so we might have pushed those first speakers they sent a little bit too far. And they decided to drop the gauntlet and send these speakers. And as you can see here, we got the custom ammo can speaker boxes. And then I did this aged wood look. So for those, but no, I doubt any soldiers were rolling around with kicker car audios back in Dom, but it'd be a lot cooler if they were, I'm sure. But yep, so then we got our nitro setup back here. Under the rear seat, we have the sorry, this hot dog.
We got a hot dog underneath the rear seat.
Let's try that one again. All right, so under the rear seat, we actually did like kind of a custom ice box, and we flush mounted it in here, so that way it wasn't like the whole thought process on the design of the inside of this Jeep was to keep it looking as original as possible. I know that sounds kind of crazy to say considering what it is, but like we didn't want coolers and ice boxes and fuel cells and and cables and wires running everywhere throughout the interior. We wanted it to look, for the most part, what a Willys Jeep would have looked like at the time. And I designed this so my kids could ride in it. That was a request from the beginning, that they would be able to ride in this thing, because they couldn't in my first one. They were just born kind of when I was getting rid of it, but they still remembered it, which is kind of cool. But underneath this thing looks like a game of Tetris. Literally every square inch, it's onboard air, it's coolers and this and that, and pumps and all kinds of stuff. But we did that and engineered it like that so we could have this clean look up here. So
And that's what's really nice about the Dominator and all that stuff. It's all compact, so we can throw the Dominator right behind the dash. The modules for the fuel pumps, since there's 2 pumps in there, we're running 2 modules, and it's actually in the ammo can underneath
right
the
here
shifter.
under the shifter. Yeah.
So everything's really compact and all put together, and we're able to fit it in this tiny little space behind the dash. Just trying to keep the inside looking as clean as possible. We're also running GPS speed sensors and stuff on this, and it's literally everything you could ever want on that big dash.
Yeah, it's really nice, and it's all like that GPS isn't like an add-on. That's actually part of the dash. It just integrates right in, and from day one you plug it in, take off down the road, and she's counting an odometer and showing everything. So it's really nice to be able to see the accurate speed and stuff, because you know with most race cars and stuff you are doing. I mean, I can definitely vouch for this. This thing did not have 31-inch drag radios on it when it came out from the factory, and you have to calibrate all that stuff and do this and that. Run the GPS. Wait for the roller coaster. That's what you can do. No, with the GPS though, you can just kind of set it and forget it, and it doesn't matter what changes you make. It's always accurate. It's always right. And that way, when that police officer asks you, "Do you know how fast you were going?" you can actually say, "Yes, I do know how fast I was going." What about quick performance? Okay. Custom fab. He does so good. He's gotten so good when he's on camera. Quick performance custom fab 90 with a just be like, you know, talked about it's got 480 in it. From there back, we've got a carbon fiber drive shaft that they did custom for us, which is about funny, which is the size of a $5 bill. Literally, the tube on the drive shaft is the length of a $5 bill. Talk about the things. No brakes. This thing stops on hopes and dreams.
Alright, so we're running the 4L80 for the transmission, and then we also have a custom carbon fiber drive shaft shop, and it's literally at the length of like a $5 bill.
It's a little fella.
With this little tiny 81-inch wheelbase. We're also running quick performance front and rear ends, so I'll let him touch on that because they're all measured just for this Jeep specifically.
Yeah, so quick performance can literally do anything custom, which is really wiper blades at AutoZone and they ask you if it's 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive, there was no clear answer for this thing. And they still, when you go in there, I'll be like, yeah, I need this for this engine. I'll just rattle off a truck and they're like, no, what vehicle is it exactly for? And I'm like, do you have a 53 Willys in there with an LS in it? No, you don't, all right? But, so like he said, we have the drive shaft shop, carbon fiber drive shaft. Behind that, we have the Quick Performance Custom Fab 9-inch. It's got 350 gears in it, which are a little tall, but this thing makes so much torque, and it actually keeps those turbos loaded pretty well. It actually works really nice. And believe me, when you jump on it, you have no idea that there's tall gears in that thing. But they did a really nice job with that, and they actually sent it to us and had us just tack the perches on, and then they sent it back, finished welded it, powder coated it, and all that. With my first Jeep, you know, it started out as like a 300 horsepower just cruiser. I didn't ever think it would be fast, and then I got tied in with 1320 and became a racing engineering, and we started snowballing stuff into it. And as you know, like when you start with something that wasn't planned, you splice in a lot of stuff, you add this, you add that, and it ends up being a mess. And I knew all of the mistakes I had made with the first one. I knew everything I learned with how to make certain setups work and what it needed to do. So when we did this one, it was very easy to be able to just say, I know this is what I want. So we took everything I learned on the first one and put it into this one right out of the gate. And then being able to do that with the Holley was nice because, you know, we knew where every sensor was going to be, you know, down to where the you know, flex fuel sensor was, and which it does have. You can integrate flex fuel with this, like a GM flex fuel sensor, and run just regular flex fuel. Just like you would. But yeah, you can actually run flex fuel just like you would in a modern GM vehicle, which is really nice. Because let's face it, E85 is about as reliable. I don't think any small snacks. But anyway, let's not put that in there. It's really nice to be able to have all that adjustability and stuff. Because you are out of stuff, and there's not going to be a happy engine. Happy engine builder though. Yeah. Okay, another one. But shoot, where were they going with that? Now, current performance, they do.
Go ahead and mention it. I'll find out.
Okay, all right. So now Holley does have a really great harness for this thing, for most vehicles. We did have to do a little customization, so we reached out to Current Performance, and they actually have the ability to make harnesses specifically for the Holley Dominator or Terminator or whatever setup you have. And we reached out to them and we gave them measurements to everything. So they actually made a pretty much just laid out harness, and it took care, I'd say, what, 90% of the sensors and everything that we had to hook up, which was really nice. But yeah, it's end of the day, if you can dream it, it'll do it. Really. I mean, there's no limits that we found yet that we haven't been able to address with the Holley setup. I mean, literally, I'll be driving and just be like, man, it'd really be nice to be able to monitor this. And it's just as simple as putting a sensor in, running an input wire, and now you are monitoring that, and you can make a custom gauge on the screen to watch just that all the time or whatever you want. As you know, when you're building a custom vehicle, there's always some little, what's a good word here, some little bug that you're always chasing or trying to find or whatnot, and being able to monitor those little things consistently helps you narrow all that stuff down. Can you think of anything else you want to talk about?
You covered so much.
Well, you said be thorough.
Yeah,
So.
No one else is that thorough, and I love it.
I'm trying to make it entertaining too. Yeah, that we replaced.
Yeah.
We got the EGT probes put in, and someone didn't tie them up properly. So when we were turning the steering wheel, it caught the steering knuckle and ripped all 4 wires out of the EGT probes. Yeah, not great. Over here, if you come around to this side, we can talk about EGTs, because this side is actually.
Talk about the spark plugs.
Yeah, I mentioned the spark plugs, I believe.
Yeah, so with all the sensors that we have plugged into this thing, I mean, we have EGT probes and like a million different sensors on this thing. Also running the Holley smart coils, and it's so nice that most everything on this is Holley, so we can just plug and play everything, and it just goes together fantastic. We don't have a bunch of wires hanging everywhere. We tried to keep the inside of the engine bay looking as well as the inside of the Jeep, and nice and clean and tucked in. Holley did an amazing job getting everything situated.
You touched on it there briefly that we are running the EGT probe. So with Holley, you can run individual cylinder EGTs, which makes just tuning, diagnosing everything so much easier. You know, when you're out somewhere and you don't have your little laser heat gun with you, it's really nice to be able to see when a cylinder isn't firing and something like that. And then it's clear as day on the log. It's like, okay, well, we got an injector or a spark plug not firing on 7, you know, and it's easy to figure things out. But I will say, if you want to see more of this Jeep and what we're going to be doing with it, we're also going to be building another Holley vehicle. It's going to be an M37, which is the military style truck from World War. Oh no, that'd be Nam era, the M37. And we're going to be building one of those. It's going to be basically a two-turbo setup. It's going to be set up for drag racing, so it won't be lifted and stuff like it is kind of how it is from the Willys factory back in the day. But if you want to see more of that, check out our YouTube channel, Racing and Randomness. You can find us on YouTube. If you're looking at us on Instagram or Facebook, it is LSX Willys, WILLYS. But we have all those pages. We're constantly updating stuff. And you'll always be able to see what we're doing or what we're up to or where we're going to be. We try to let everyone know. So if you ever want to see this in person or see us goofing off and acting silly in it, because we're pretty good at doing that, you can always know where we're going to be. So thanks for learning about the LSX Willys 2.0 and letting me and Nick introduce ourselves, and we hope to see you guys all at the next show.
Bravo!
That boy needs a drink.
I'm going to drink as long as this thing doesn't heat up on the way back and overheat again.
You might drink even more if it does.
You're going downhill. You're all right.
Drive it in the winter. Well, you did about 23.
You said 20.
Yeah, no, that's great. I love it. Seriously, dude. I'm telling people.
That's the raw Uncut promo by Holley. So I'm sure you'll see the real one on their site pretty soon. But that's the behind the scenes look.